Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV live on YouTube and Facebook. As always, my name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're keeping well under these very, very difficult situations, which is the reason why I'm now doing this video, because I thought it might be quite a good idea just to kind of test the water a little bit. I'm first and foremost, I'm thinking about having this set up for live watch-alongs with. Because basically, guys, what's happened is I'm just to be completely honest with you, I was sitting in the garden, minding my own thoughts, and my thoughts wandered to obviously the channels as it does for you guys on a regular basis as well. Now, and I've just kind of realised that I look like I'm actually presenting the news with the laptop sitting here. But I have to have the laptop quite close. Unfortunately, the pop guard doesn't seem to fit on this little handle thing. So if it quite a lot, then I do apologise. But there's nothing I can do about it, at least for now. But as I say, I just wanted to try and do this maybe on a regular basis, possibly on a daily basis, because this is completely impromptu. As I said, I was sitting out in the garden thinking about a few things, and I kind of thought to myself, well, as nice as it is having the live background behind us the whole time, I thought it might be nice just to mix things up a little bit and get your feedback on the channel as well, for that matter. But more specifically, just to have a daily conversation more than anything else. Hello, Rick, mate. I hope you're keeping all right. Because basically, not to copy anybody else, I just kind of thought, you know, we're in this for the long haul. Unfortunately, we're in this situation for the long haul, and I thought it might be a good idea if we sit down or stand up or squat, whatever you're doing at the moment, and just talk. Ask me any questions you want. I'll ask you guys questions as well. It doesn't have to be just about West Ham. All right, just because this is a West Ham channel doesn't necessarily mean it has to be about West Ham. I want to do this on hopefully going to try and do this on a daily basis, so you and I can just sit down together and we talk and we discuss anything that we're thinking about, anything that we want to get off our chests about the whole situation, or just life in general even. We just sit here and talk. So come on, guys, talk to me. Now, as I said, and this is why I'm saying about having a new idea. Okay, because I really think this is a good idea to just to break up the monotony of it all. Because to be honest, guys, there's not really much to talk about. I know that obviously, like, Gonzo is doing his regular daily videos. Cheers, Teresa. Thanks, hon. Hope you're keeping all right. You know, just to have open dialogue with you guys, for lack of a better business way of putting it, or any business way of putting it for that matter, just for us to talk about things, anything you're struggling with, anything that you want to discuss and you may be a little bit afraid to, you can always turn to me and we can talk about things. You know, we can have a conversation. We can talk about absolutely anything. So Teresa, if you want to ask me or talk to me about anything, you're more than welcome to. Rick, same for you, for that matter. The other two that are currently watching but haven't mentioned anything in the chat, if you want to talk about things, I'm here, and I'm going to be hope to do this on a daily basis. So I'm here to set aside half an hour, depending on how long the conversation goes, and we just literally talk about things. And Frank, thank you very much, mate. Frank is asking, with a world recession on the cards, what are your thoughts on a salary and transfer cap? Rugby union does it. Frank, I've been saying this for a long time when it comes to football, that we should have a wage cap. We've already had one recession in the last 15 years. This is going to go on for a lot longer than that. We are still recovering from that recession in the first place. I've always maintained we've never properly been out of a recession, because if we were, then if we were out of a recession, we wouldn't be talking about a recession so quickly, 5 weeks into companies working from home, not furloughing their employees, etc., etc. Charlie Walsh, hello, mate. Good to see it. Yes, I have. I've moved around a few degrees. Yeah, I just thought I'd try a little bit of a layout. But yeah, Frank, 100% with you guys, mate. Definitely. A wage cap should be happening across the board. And to be honest with you, it really, I honestly do think, like everyone else is saying at the moment, that football really needs, and the wider world in general needs to take a look at themselves and say to themselves, am I justified getting this 60 grand a week? Am I justified earning even in business at CEO or CFO levels? Am I really justified at earning 2 grand a week for sitting there bossing people about? Quite frankly, just having their fingers in the troughs. So basically, guys, as I said, I want to try and do this on a daily basis. Obviously, during the week, this will be an evening thing, or I might even do it at my lunch hour for that matter. I haven't really decided, but I want to do this on a daily basis, both on Facebook and YouTube as it currently is being broadcast, and also for that matter, hopefully I might try and do this on Periscope as well, because I know that reaches out to a few other things. So the core channel will be YouTube. It will float between Facebook and Periscope depending on the interactions, of course. But Miles, hello Miles. Thoughts on the Bundesliga possibly coming back next week? Would you watch a couple of games despite it being behind closed doors? Great question, Miles. Very, very good question. Just to come back, Frank's was yes, will never happen though. Agreed, mate, 100%. But I'm not going to watch it, to be honest with you, because I don't have any vested interest in the Bundesliga. It's not going to fill the hole that I need, unfortunately. But at the same point, I can understand why people want to do it. I can understand why Germany are doing it, because their ratios in terms of cases and people unfortunately passing away. That's a point. Actually, I need to keep an eye out on what's going on with the news there. Bear me 2 moments, guys. No, not that BBC. Thank you. But with Germany bringing the football back, completely understandable. Completely understandable that they want to do that. But we basically just need to just keep vigilant more than anything else on what we're doing, because at the end of the day, as I said, Germany's ratios, you can't compare what's happening in Germany over here, okay? Because the ratios in their disease count, and also their people that are unfortunately passing away as a result, or as something has come in, it is going to be very, very difficult. So we can't say because Germany's doing it, we should be doing it. We cannot be having that line of thinking in any shape or form. Steve Spraggs from Bowling Badgers. Hello, mate. I'm keeping well. I hope you are too, mate. Thank you. Charlie is saying, I'll be watching Bundesliga, definitely. Great league in general to watch. Well, in that case, Charlie, with your recommendation, I will be more than happy to keep an eye out for it. I'll have a look and see what the football's like. But watching it behind closed doors is going to be mental. I know from a certain point of view, a lot of people have been saying, and quite rightly so, that it's like watching friendlies, pretty much. Because we're used to doing that. Will it, as I said, will it fill the football void in my heart and my soul that we're missing at the moment? Absolutely not. But it would be a good thing to look at. And you never know. It actually might be quite a good idea to. It might be quite a good idea to do a bit of scouting in the Bundesliga. And maybe any other leagues that are slowly going to be coming back on the telly. Do some research. Say, actually, been watching these guys for X amount of time, and might be quite a good idea to have this player in. You never know. Charlie, any other questions, mate? Just going to plug my laptop in just in case, because it always shuts down at the time or goes into mental mode just when I don't need it. So let me just try it, as young Tom will be able to testify about. Ryan says, how long will David Moyes last as a manager, mate? Ryan, that's a very, very, very good question. Depends on because you can answer that in two ways, really. You can really answer that in two ways. How long is he going to last at West Ham? Who knows? He could last until whenever next season starts, or halfway through next season, whenever that's going to be. As a manager itself, I honestly think this is his second chance at redemption. I really think it is. We all know that his original appointment with us was his first chance, and didn't do too bad a job. If I'm completely honest with you, didn't do too bad a job. I can understand why the board wanted to go and get a bit more of a flamboyant manager in charge, but I'd take Moyes for a little while longer, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously we've got no choice at the minute, but I do genuinely think he's a sort of manager that can actually properly steady the ship. I mean, obviously Allardyce did as well, for that matter. But yeah, we'll see. But as I say, in managerial terms, in general, Ryan, I think he's got at least 10, 15 years left in him. Miles Austin, thoughts on Newcastle takeover, new Europa Champions League contender? Miles, very good question again. I don't know if you saw the live podcast that I did with AJ on Kiwi Hammers, where we talked about this in quite some depth. What was it? Thursday, I think it was. I think it's a great move for Newcastle. Absolutely great move. I know that a lot of the fans are really wanting this to be pushed over the line, because at the end of the day, people want they want Ashley out as quickly as possible. We are exactly the same thing. We want the Davids out, and the majority of the people that actually love the club properly want the Davids out. And I think in time they will be back to being Europa Champions League contenders. Miles, 100%. They were pushing for Europe a lot and properly doing it as well. Like, for example, when that famous quote of Kevin Keegan when he was arguing with whoever the Sky Sports presenter was at the time over words that Alex Ferguson said while Newcastle were in the running for winning the league that year. They've always had Champions League football up until 10, 15 years ago, however long it's been now. But they've always tried to go for Champions League. And I honestly think that this new investment, if it comes through, is going to benefit them more in the background, more to do with setting up their academy, improving their training ground, improving their physiotherapy systems, that sort of thing. Because we can't have a Man City star up at Newcastle. It's just not going to happen because the financial fair play rules have changed since Man City were bought out by the Sheikhs. So things are different. Hi Harrison, good to see you, mate. But great question, Miles. Ben, hello geezer. Looking very clean. Guys, this short air ain't going to last long. It's a little bit shorter than I originally planned it to be. But yeah, it's going to be there for a few weeks. Frank Burke asks, how can you tackle when you're social distancing? Exactly. That's the question. I don't know. I can't physically see a way of being able to do that. I really don't understand how that's going to work. Obviously we were reading reports late last night and this morning that Arsenal players have been allowed to go back into their training ground. But one thing I did notice that a lot of people haven't been keeping an eye on about yet is where's that article? Where is it? I was reading it earlier, but it was about what the Arsenal people have said. God, where is it? I mean, obviously the story came out about Moise Kean breaking out from quarantine to have a party at home with a few friends. I get it. I understand why he did it. I don't agree with it, but I completely understand. Right, here we go. Arsenal's article. It says players will be permitted to access on London Colney training grounds. Access will be limited, carefully managed, and social distancing will be maintained. All Colney buildings remain closed. Players will travel alone, do their individual workouts, and return home. Now, there's nothing in there to say anything else about that fact that they're going to actually be doing proper training. It's probably just up and down, running around the cones and the opposition metal things, that sort of thing. Steve Spraggs asked, are the players going to want to play behind closed doors? Interesting one about David Moyes, who would want who would you? Sorry, interesting one about David Moyes. Who would you want as manager? JP, good luck to the Newcastle. Good luck to Newcastle. Wish it was us. Steve, there's very good questions in there, mate. First question: Are they going to be playing? Other players want to be going to play behind closed doors? To be honest with you, mate, they've got no choice. They're going to have to. It's not because I know the reason why you're asking this. Because Allaire came out saying this isn't the sort of thing that he signed up to play at West Ham. But at the same point, if he was still in Germany, they'd be doing exactly the same thing. So it's a little bit hypocritical from him. Maybe he's talking about the conversations that they've had at club level with the managers and each other and stuff. Maybe that's not the sort of thing he was expecting people to do. I don't know. But second is, who would you want as manager? Steve, I've been racking my brains about it because me and my mate Kev, who's a Geordie support, we were talking about it, and because I would genuinely give Moyes the time and the backing. I really, really would. I can't see any manager that's available that would be able to do a better job. I know there's people want to have Benitez come in. Fine, I see the reason why behind it. Just the what's the word? Man marking, zonal marking. I really, really hate. I know we do it anyway, but I really, really hate seeing that. Because I hate watching a defender run back and then all of a sudden start marking. No, just mark him in the run. Harrison says, I hope Declan Rice will not go. Anderson can go if he's lazy, and if Rice goes, Sullivan will blame it on Corona and the financial state of the club. Harrison, I know why you're saying that, mate, and I agree with you to a degree. I mean, none of us want Declan Rice to go. Sky Sports mentioned that he was the most valued player of West Ham. Can't disagree. However, Declan Rice saying that he was disappointed that Chelsea didn't pick his contract up isn't much of a surprise. The boy is a lifelong Chelsea fan. Same with Joey Cole. Joey Cole was a Chelsea fan before he came through our academy. And as much as Rice loves West Ham, it's clear that he loves West Ham. Is not really, he's obviously going to be disappointed that he wasn't be able to play along Mason Mount, which I've talked about before. But if Rice goes, Sullivan will blame it on Corona and the financial state of the club. Yes, but at the same time, mate, every club in the world is going to be in the same sort of financial situation. I know there's a bit of hoo-ha about Solskjaer when what he said about Man United being one of the clubs to be able to afford to terrorise, or words to that effect, other clubs. And yeah, they will be in a year or so, but not now. Not many clubs. Different. Ben says, have you moved gaff recently, or is it just a different room? Looks all right. Cheers, Ben. It hasn't. Neither, mate. I've literally the screen is normally here, right? So I've just all I've done is I've rotated it 45, 90 degrees, I should say. I've just rotated it 90 degrees, and we've now got this background, which is if you remember the videos I did originally, Ben, this is the wall I used beforehand before I upgraded everything. I'm gonna do this for the live watch alongs whenever that comes back, because I've got, as everybody knows, in 2 weeks' time, I and West Ham's FA Cup final against Arsenal turn 40. So I've ordered myself a couple of bits of gear very cheaply. I've ordered myself a couple of bits of gear that will help with me doing the live watch along with, and so I thought I'll have it here so it looks like even though it looks nice with the backdrop, the backdrop's still going to remain for the previews and everything else, previews and the match reactions for the home games if and when we ever get back to the stadium. But for the live watch alongs, because I basically bought myself a mini projector, which is going to sit here, which you can't see, and it's going to be projected up on a massive screen that I've bought. I say massive, it's 60-inch, but it's going to be completely out of the way. Lighting's going to be perfect. This is the best place for it, so I hope you guys will enjoy it. if and as and when that starts up. Ryan Mate says, hi mate, will they keep Kevin Nolan as assistant manager? Ryan, that's a very Ryan, mate, you're coming out with some quality questions. Really, really enjoying it. Thanks, mate. That's a really, really good one. I hope they do. He's only on contract till whenever the end of the season is supposed to be. I hope they will give him a new contract, because as Moy said about Nolan the other few days ago, Nolan is his voice on the pitch, because Nolan is still within that bracket of being still thinking like a player, trying to be thinking as a manager. He's right in that little middle bit, and I really hope he does. Ryan also asked, will Marko Arnautovic is meant to be come back to West Ham? I can't see it, mate. I really, really can't see it. Reason being is because his wages will be ridiculous. David Sullivan will make sure that there's a wage cap, of course, and I don't think it's a good idea to have a disruptive force in this dressing room once again. We need to stop doing that. As talented as a footballer as he was a massive disruption, and we can't have players like that anymore. Miles asks Emery for manager. That's not a bad shout, mate, to be honest with you. He was in the running for being our manager before Bilic came in. In actual fact, I think they actually spoke to him, if I remember correctly. So he was due to come in as a manager at one point. But as Harrison quite rightly says, Emery's not going to come to us. I would love it. I wouldn't mind it, to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind. I think he's a good manager. I think he'd do a lot at West Ham. I think he really, really would. He'd have his hands tied big time. But I think he'd do all right. Stephen Fraser. Steve, I wish. I bloody well wish. I really wish. Ryan asks, hi mate, why did the board get rid of Moyes in the first place? Basically, Ryan, they got rid of him because they thought that he wasn't what they needed to go forward. So big mistake on that one from that side of things. Because I mean, I get it, because Moyes possibly isn't the manager that is going to push us into getting in the top half of the table, or getting into the top 8. Well, yeah, but the top 10, maybe not, and that's probably why. Maybe they were, because I still maintain that ever since October, November time of that season when Moyes came in, that we were caught in. God, I've forgotten his name already. Well, I honestly thought we were caught in him, and that's why. Pellegrini. Name just completely disappeared out of my head then. I honestly thought that's why that's why we got Pellegrini in, because we were courting him for 6 months before it came in, because Moyes didn't even know what was going on. Steve agrees with me. Do not want Marko Arnautovic back. Too much trouble. Ben says, I would like Emery or Nolan. Nolan for the few years, mate. Yeah, I can see. So guys, any other questions? As I say, it just doesn't have to be about West Ham. We can talk about everything, anything you want. This is an open platform. We can talk about absolutely anything you want. John says, Steve says, John would love to see one of our young goalkeepers given a chance, or would you not? I think it means, would you love to see one of your young goalkeepers given a chance, or would you not risk it? I would love it. Steve, I've said it. I've said many, many times, we need to be bringing through Anang and Trott. They're not having the best of times in their respective positions at the minute. Unfortunately, well, as what I say, the minute before the season's finished, suspended, I should say. But I would take them. I would absolutely take them. Foshizi, hello mate. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing okay. But yeah, I would definitely take the risk. I wouldn't have them in. I would have him in goal for the pre-season games. 100%. I'd have him in goal for either Trott or Nang. I'd have him in goal for possibly maybe the first couple of games of the season, as long as they weren't too biggie ones. I mean, if we weren't playing like Man City or anything, a team that we should just we got to give them a go. Definitely put them one of the two in for the cups. See how they get on. But we say we don't know what's going on in the training ground. So, but I would take it 100% if we got the chance. Frank asks, it will be it'll be interesting when they put a date forward for the start of the new season. Still playing behind closed doors, Frank. We've got no choice, mate. Got no choice but to play behind closed doors until everyone's vaccinated. It's as simple as that. Because it's not just as Gonzo quite rightly said in his video that went up earlier today. When you're shouting at a football ground, you know, you're projecting your normal breath and any spittle you got in your mouth, etc., etc. So it's not just going to be 2 meters away from each other. It's going to be a ghost town. So I'd rather be sitting at home watching the games than sit in the stadium and worry about things left, right, and centre. Miles said, "Did you hear what Trump said about injecting disinfectant?" Now, this is the thing, Miles. I watched the video clip last night. I don't know why I'm doing that. I haven't got any fucking ear. I watched the video last night, and he didn't say it. He said, you know, are we looking at it? He didn't actually say it. I can see why everyone's interpreted, because he shouldn't have said what he said regardless. But at the same point, for those who are my age and upwards, will remember. Oh, Rick, thank you very much, mate. Rick's donated a $5. Speak to you later. I've got to go to work. Keep it up, John. Thanks, mate. Enjoy your deliveries. I hope you keep everything all right. But yeah, for those, for example, Steve Spraggs will back me up on this. Possibly Ben Davies will possibly do it as well. When we were kids, we were told that you put a little bit of TCP in some water and you wash it around like mouth disinfectants. Like, for example, I remember when I used to get my ulcers quite a lot. Still do every now and again. Still do every now and again. But you know, as I said, it was hard work. It was so I'm guessing that's where he was talking about, because there are certain generations that used to do that. Kent Hammers, hello mate, good to see you. Give Moyes a chance. He did what he needed to first time round. Agreed, said that earlier, and I think he's got ideas on players for next season, and we'll be looking at young players. Agreed, 100%. Yeah, I'm sure he will. Ryan says, will there be a press conference after matches with Moyes behind closed doors? Possibly, possibly, depending on the numbers. How many people there? Foch usually shows you the age. You don't drink or inject it. Agreed, but that's what I'm saying. You gargle it around the mouth, and that's kind of, you know, I know he's backtracked on it, but at the end of the day, he shouldn't have said what he said in the first place. guys, apologies about that. We've had some internet issues here at the minute. The router decided to reset itself. But yes, so yeah, let me just come out of that. So apologies, guys. I really do apologize. Literally, the router just decided to completely reset itself. So Steve says, I'm 56. We just got on with it back in the day. Yeah. All this. Honestly, Steve, come on. I might be that generation, mate. I'm not that far behind you. So, well, cheers, mate. Cheers. Thanks, Fozy. But yeah, as I said, it's just let's if anybody from BT is watching, sort your lines out, man. I'll tell you, it's ridiculous. It crashed yesterday, as well while I was trying to watch a movie. But thanks, Fozy. I'm glad you were missing me, mate. Yep. So we're back. Yep. So guys, I say apologies for the 5-minute break. I think it was, whatever it was. But these things happen. So yeah, any other things you want to talk about? As I said, because this is literally just a not a what's the word? It's completely impromptu. It's a live Q&A. As I say, I'm hoping that we can do this every day. So Miles asks 3 clubs you see getting relegated. That's really tricky, mate. That is really, really tricky. If the season does continue, let's have a look to see the current table now, because obviously. So I still think that it's Brighton's in with a shot. I still think we're in with a shot of it. Unfortunately, I think Watford is still in with a shot of getting relegated. So anybody out of the bottom 6 or 7 could easily get relegated, and anybody out of the bottom 6 or 7 could easily stay up at the same point. Because let's not forget, right, that 27 as it stands at the moment is the watermark, and Southampton are 7 points from relegation with 9 games to go. We're 8. We're on joint goal difference. Brighton and Hove Albion are 2 points above relegation with 9 games to go. Anything can happen. Absolutely anything. Foshizi asks, who would you like as realistic transfer targets if we stay up, and what positions? Fo, I can't tell you. I really, really can't tell you, because I don't really watch all that much football, unfortunately. I know the positions we need to reinforce. 100%. We need another 2 strikers. I've been saying it right since the start of the season. We need 2 left backs. Get rid of Masuaku. As much as I love the bloke, he's a liability. We need right back. We're fine. So we need another centre back. We need a box-to-box midfielder. How many bloody seasons have we been saying that for? That kind of thing. But yeah, Mike says Brighton haven't been great for years. Think they could go down. Agreed. But as I said, I don't know enough of players. I've been reading a few things, and guys, you would have seen. I mean, that sounds like a good shout. I did a reaction video to the news that we put a bid in for him in January. We're not still monitoring him from what I understand. Frank says PSG giving Neymar 600 grand a week to stay with them. Yeah, they're desperate, mate. They don't want to get rid of him because he's a good player. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, he's fucking shit, blah blah blah. Because we had a chance to sign him when he was very very young. We passed up on that. And I think he's a very very talented player. I really think he's a talented player. But doesn't deserve 600 grand a week. I'm guessing that's euros. Same thing with Alexis Sanchez. Doesn't deserve $500,000 a week. Absolutely doesn't. Does not in any shape or form. Does he? He does not deserve any that. To be honest with you, not many of the. I can't think of any players that do deserve the wages. To be honest with you. Right, where are we? Shut up, Steve. Here's an obscene amount of money. Yes, Ben, I'm good. Yeah, internal chat going on there. Okay, so right, so obviously let's have a look at a few other bits and pieces while you guys are thinking about Chelsea Flower Show is now online, which is interesting. I mean, obviously today would have been the marathon and also the snooker fight world champion final, if I remember correctly, as well. Yeah, that's interesting. Right, so where are we? So Miles asked when Premier League comes back, if it's most possibly behind closed doors, do you see that benefiting or hurting West Ham players at home? I can't see either, to be honest with you, Mike. I don't think it's going to make a blind bit of difference. The problem is that I think a lot of players are going to treat it as a training session to a degree. I don't think. I mean, I know there's all big talk about atmospheres encourage players and stuff, and to a degree, it does. It really does. But at the same point, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference because they should be up for a game regardless of who's watching or not. Frank Burke says state registered nurse 24 grand a year. I know, mate. That's the stupid thing. I mean, this is the funny thing that annoys me about the governments, and I'm not just this current government, but all governments have done exactly the same thing. You know, we're always under having heavy taxes on us and etc. And there's no money to pay the NHS. There's no money for care homes. There's no money for do you know what I mean? There's no money for police. And then all of a sudden in this situation, they're finding all this money. Yes, okay, once everything's back. I know that old thingy Bob, what's his, Rasham, or whatever his name was, Rob, said that he said that the way that the funding is going to come through is by all the tax that is going to have to be paid. So it by those that are self-employed. Hey, here she comes. She does read my messages. Hey, Bex, good to see you, hon. Hope you're doing all right. Has to be dragged on. But you know, it just winds me up that all of a sudden they can find this money available when they should be having they should be on a decent living wage at the best of times. To have NHS workers need our 400 support. And to be honest with you, as much as I love the fact that people are standing outside in their doorways clapping the NHS, showing their respects, there is just something. I really hope that it's just going to be it's going to stop, because the amount of people that are standing on Westminster Bridge, that are, do you know what I mean? That all those people. Charlie, have you been blocked? That doesn't sound right. I ain't blocked you. Hang on, let's sort my man out. So apologies, guys. Just going to do a little bit of maintenance because whoever is an admin and has blocked Charlie, that's not on. I don't remember seeing him. On the list of everybody that's blocked. But let me just do some maintenance. So while we're searching for that, Bex, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea why he's been blocked. I certainly haven't blocked him. I wouldn't block him. He's a top lad. Not just because that's what his Twitter handle is. That is a top. That is weird. That is so. I really don't understand that. Let's see if I can get him back in. Where are we? This new stupid layout of the YouTube studio. Right, where are we? JP, what do you do for a living? I work in a warehouse and would like to see 26 grand. I've worked for events management company as a credit controller. So we're all working from home at the moment. So yeah. Come on, where are we? Where is it? Where's the community bit? Charlie, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea how to do this at the minute. I certainly didn't block you. See if I can. Oh, here we go. Found it. Community. Come on. Everything's still working? Yeah, everything's working fine. He's not the Messiah. He's a naughty boy. That I agree with. Jesus, the amount of copyright companies is unbelievable. Charlie, I ain't seen you in here, man. Oh yeah, there you are. So right, someone's blocked him for some stupid reason. Don't know who that is. I'm taking that person off. So yep. So Charlie, you should be able to now comment, mate. I mean, he's an all right lad. He is. He's good lad. Miles, which remaining games were you looking forward to before the virus? Mate, it's. I'm gonna have to be honest with you. I'm gonna have to look at the fixtures because I can't bloody remember. I can't really. My mind's scrambled at the minute. Let me just let the big man know that he's unblocked. Right, so let me just go to here. I mean, obviously the game with Spurs, I was really looking forward to. The home game against Wolves, I certainly wasn't. That's for sure. Burnley at home, I quite always like when we play Burnley. They always give us a bit of a show. Chelsea at home, I was definitely looking forward to. And Watford at home, the penultimate game before Villa at home. The Walsh is free. There he is. Whee! Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Somebody blocked you, mate. I've no idea why. So might have to change some of the moderators in that case. One-handed Ninja Lucas says, "What should the Premier League do?" Cool picture, by the way. I like that. In what terms, mate? Let us know. Free the Charlie one, Wolf one. Those were dark times, but him blocked. Didn't know what to do with myself. Where are we? Sat there shouting to the void. There. But yeah, no. So in terms, as I say, one-handed Ninja, let us know what you mean by what you think the Premier League should. I think the Premier League should do, because that's quite varied, to be honest with you. But if it's a question, I think you need to. The Premier League needs to, now, bearing in mind the Premier League is all 20 clubs, right? Let's make that first and foremost quite Here we go. So while One-Handed Ninja's updating his questions, so what does everyone think about the Morellis link? I'm laughing. I am laughing like crazy. Super Lonely was like I was Isaac in the cellar. Okay. Void or carry on. Mate, if I'm honest, I would say carry on behind closed doors. I've changed my tune because a few weeks ago when all this first happened, I said that they should just take the league as is because we're 3/4 of the way through the league. I still think that to a degree. I still think that's the case. That we should just take it as it is and just let it over and get it over and done with. But the problem is that do we relegate those three sides with 9 games left? I think that's very, very harsh. Do we jeopardize the two teams who were trying to get through to the playoff final in the championship? I think that's very, very harsh. I think it's just that, that's the thing, man. It's a case of just see what happens, because that's what we're doing. Each and every single one of us is exactly doing that. We're looking to see what happens. Ryan, I keep hearing rumors of a Red Bull takeover. Yes, Ryan, they're exactly that. It's not news, it's rumor. It's not even fake news for that matter. It's rumor. Do not, under any circumstances, follow that India Takiali or whatever, Indy Takiali, whatever that stupid account is, because they have, to be fair, they had a few things right, but they've predicted it on the day that it's actually happened, so they've seen other people say it. But Bex makes a good point. It's not safe enough to carry on behind closed doors. My prediction: it will start and then be stopped again. Very, very true. Very, very true there, Rebecca. I think that really is going to happen, because if the teams are isolated in their own little internment camp sort of thing, for lack of a better way of putting it, for 2 to 3 weeks, and everybody is tested every single day, and everybody is fine throughout the entire lot, then you start doing it. That's the way I look at it. Otherwise, just suspend it. But you never know. But we do know, because at the same point, we've had things where it's been where we're going to be social distancing for a long time still to come, and as a result of it, we are going to have to be very, very careful, and therefore there's no football, because I don't give a monkeys about the amount of money in football. Everyone can afford to lose that money. They can afford to lose that money, as far as I'm concerned. Tank the player. Well, nice to see you, mate. Hope the Premier League doesn't get a new version of Man City. They won't. How long will the season finish? I think how long will it be till the season finishes, Ryan? I think that's what you're asking. No idea. Foshi says, I like the India Carlio account. It's really entertaining, complete fiction, but great fun. There is that point. Yes, there is. Yeah, it is complete fiction, but the majority of accounts like that are anyway. The only person I really listen to is X. I don't trust anybody else. Yeah, so Ryan was saying, how long will this season close behind closed doors? It'll be the remaining 9 games, mate. Whenever that's going to be is another matter. And as Frank quite rightly says, and I've said this a few weeks back as well, if one player gets it, it's stopped. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need to be tested every single day for 3 weeks straight. I know the incubation period and all the symptoms of that is 2 weeks, but they need to be tested for 3 weeks each and every single day, until and in their own sort of like isolation. And then once that happens, we're gonna see a lot better things. We're going to see a lot better things, and then obviously football's going to come back and whatnot. But I honestly think that the Bundesliga isn't helping matters, because the circumstances are different and people can't see the difference between the circumstances. Miles Weston says, when did you get the haircut? I did it myself on Friday night. Well, it was Friday night. I got a little bit bored. Tried to do a bit of a maintenance, put the wrong clipper on, and so I had to finish the rest of it off. I'm not going to sit there with a bloody chunk in my head. So yeah, but thanks, Miles. Thanks, guys. Right, so let's see what else is kicking about. If there's anything else to talk about before we wrap up. We've been talking for almost an hour. Well, I've been talking for 40 minutes. You guys have been talking for 50. It doesn't look like there's any new. Is there any new news coming out? Let's have a look at the trusted websites. Boris Johnson will turn to work on Monday. Soldiers will operate nearly 100 mobile coronavirus testing kit units, which is good in the UK. So they're really stepping everything up. Anything else? Right, according to various sources, I'm guessing this originally came from Yorkshire Live was the first website to discuss this by the looks of it. It says Premier League set for government meetings to discuss restart. Sheffield United's fate will be on the line when weekly meetings commence. The Premier League are set to begin regular meetings with the government and senior medical directors about restarting the Premier League as soon as possible. I did say this in my video that I did yesterday, I think. According to the BBC, the Premier League are quickening the pace and intend to resume the league season where it left off at some stage during the coming weeks. Prime Minister Boris Johnson is said to have been briefed on the meetings, and the Chief Medical Officer, Sir Chris Whitty, will allow his staff to be involved. The Times report the Premier League is working with a host of other sports to help bring action back to our living rooms. The plan, thrashed out over a number of meetings, will see games staged behind closed doors in a small number of approved stadiums. I think that's bollocks. That last part of it. Here we go. For smart people, the Germans are making one really dumb decision, to be fair. Yeah, agreed. You can be asymptomatic but still be infectious. Agreed. That's the whole point. What I'm saying, I think they're trying to make a point and I hope the rest will follow. That's what I'm saying. That it was, yeah, there were exactly what I was like saying, Bex, that the Bundesliga aren't helping matters. See, Rob Banks has put up season reviews on his YouTube channel. Good one for him. One-handed ninja, Lucas, Grealish or Maddison? That's a good question, mate, if I'm honest. That is a very, very, very good question. Grealish is too hot-headed, very, very talented player. Maddison's not all that, but I can't answer that, man. Agree, Becky, but we must not be sheep. Well, Becky is a apple sheep. Let's have a look. Becky says, totally listen, if they can do it safely, then fine, but I'm not sure they can. And also, if it puts a strain on the NHS, I'm anyway, it's in any way, it's not right. Yeah, but exactly as I'm saying, you can't say just because one country is doing something that it will be applied to here, that there are numerous factors in there. For example, Germany haven't had 20,000 people die. They haven't had that figure in any shape or form. But okay. So, guys, I'm going to wrap it up in a couple of minutes. As I say, I want to do this on a daily basis, so we will all have a conversation during the week. It will probably be round about sort of 6, maybe about 6:15. But on the weekends, I'll do it around about 4 o'clock. So keep an eye out for it. As I say, I want to do this on a daily basis while we're all stuck at home, being bored, not being able to do what we want to be doing and need to be doing. But guys, but yeah, here we go. Ben Davis says, yeah, they're not great quality, but still good to watch. Also, Apple Sheep, last time I checked, I weren't. Well, I won't say what you actually told me you were, but Charlie's, yeah, agreed 100%. Rebecca, get off your Apple high horse and join us Android folk. Yep. There's more options available on Android than there is on Apple. The gap isn't as huge as it used to be. No, Charlie, I'm riding my Apple Sheep. Yeah. And Foshizi says Android rules. Definitely 100% on that, because I've never once. I've got an iPod. That's as close as I've ever got to having Apple. Completely, that's as close as I've ever got. I've been Android right from day one. Ever since I dropped the Nokia 3210. Showing my age there. But guys, thank you very, very much for watching. I really do appreciate this. As I say, I will be doing this at 6:30 tomorrow evening. So by all means, please come back, and as I say, during the week it'll be at 6:30. And for the weekends I'll be doing it around about probably around about 4 o'clock, especially maybe a little bit early if the weather isn't as good next weekend. Foshizi says, still love my iPad, mind you. Naughty. Charlie Walsh says, what iPod are we talking? I'm talking about the iPod Touch first generation. I've still got it. It's in a bit of a state because it decided to commit suicide a couple of years ago. But it's, yeah. You got an iPod Shuffle. This is banging. But yeah, guys, thank you very, very much for watching. As I say, I hope to see you tomorrow evening at 6:30. We'll have a nice little dinner chat. Mate, I'm far from posh, mate. You've had conversations with me. I ain't posh. Nano for life. Yeah, I don't mind the nanos, but I like to see what I'm doing properly. I don't like those piddly little things people put on, especially when you see them on people's arms. Looks wanky. But guys, thank you very much for your time. Hope to see you at 6:30 tomorrow night when we talk about we'd have some more conversations. And yeah, we'll leave it there for the minute. Look after yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow dinner time or tea time, depending on how posh or common you are. All the best, guys. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow night.